Remember when your mom's kitchen had that mustard yellow wallpaper and the fridge was avocado green? There was a time in Canada when food wasn't just fuel, it was identity. The 1970s gave us flavors that screamed, "Only in Canada, hey?" Ketchup-dusted fingers at recess, donut holes passed around the minivan, and frozen cakes that meant company was coming. Today we're diving into 15 iconic Canadian foods from the 70s. These weren't gourmet, they were grabable, shareable, and ours. Whether you fought over pineapple on pizza at sleepovers, burned your tongue on a pizza pop, or knew exactly which Timbit was maple glaze, you're in for a cozy trip back. These snacks marked time, after hockey, after school, after church. They taught a whole country what it tasted like to be Canadian. Which one do you remember most? Let's dig in. 1. Ketchup chips. If there's one flavor that screams Canadian original, it's ketchup chips. Sweet, tangy, tomato-powdered potato slices that turned your fingers crimson and your breath into a vinegar cloud. Hostess owned this flavor in the 70s. Kids traded them at recess like currency. Adults served them at parties in big glass bowls and watched guests go back for thirds. The genius was simple. Canadians took America's favorite condiment and turned it into chip dust. The result was addictive. One handful led to another. You'd finish a bag and wonder where it went. The red dust under your fingernails was proof of guilt. Every Saturday, families made the rental store run. You'd pick your VHS movie and grab a bag of ketchup chips for the ride home. By the time you pulled into the driveway, your lips were stained red and you were grinning. This wasn't just a snack, it was a declaration. We're Canadian. We put ketchup on everything. Over time, branding shifted. Companies merged. Packaging changed. But ketchup chips stayed a national in-joke and a pride point. Americans scratched their heads. Brits thought we were mad. We didn't care. We had ketchup chips. 2. Hickory sticks. Think thin potato matchsticks with a smoky, salty punch that made your eyes water. Hickory sticks were the forbidden snack, messy, intensely flavored, and portion-controlled only by willpower. Hostess knew what they were doing. Hockey nights meant Dad's TV tray, a cold beer, and a bag of hickory sticks. The sound was unmistakable, that quiet crunch rain as you poured them into a bowl. One stick became 10, became 50. Your fingers got greasy. Your breath got smoky. You regretted nothing. The narrow bag made them feel special, like you were eating fancy French fries that someone shrunk down and supercharged with flavor. Kids loved them because they felt like an adult snack. Adults loved them because they tasted like childhood permission slips. Packaging changed over the decades. Parent companies shuffled. But the cult attachment never died. You either got hickory sticks or you didn't. And if you got them, you probably finished the bag. 3. All-dressed chips, Canada's maximalist chip flavor. Vinegar, salt, BBQ, sour cream, onion, everything on it. The 70s were about more is more, and all-dressed chips embodied that party mix vibe perfectly. This was bragging rights territory, a uniquely Canadian flavor profile that confused everyone else. Basement birthday parties meant one big bowl and 5 hands reaching in at once. Someone always said they tasted like ketchup chips mixed with salt and vinegar. Someone else swore they tasted like BBQ. Everyone agreed they tasted like Canada. The genius was the layering. No single flavor dominated. Your taste buds got hit from every angle. Sweet, sour, salty, savory, all fighting for attention and somehow working together. It was controlled chaos in your mouth. The flavor migrated across brands over the years. Humpty Dumpty, Ruffles, Lay's, everyone made a version. But All Dressed stayed a flag plant for Canadian taste. It said, "We don't pick favorites, we take it all." 4. Timbits. Mid-70s, Tim Hortons had a genius idea. Take the donut holes left over from cutting out the rings and sell them in grab boxes. The Timbit was born. Suddenly, sharing became easy. Road trips became sweeter. Post-hockey practice rewards became bite-sized. The cardboard 20-pack got passed around the minivan like communion, maple glaze roulette. Everyone wanted the honey cruller, nobody wanted the plain. Fingers dove in, sugar stuck to the box. Mom yelled about crumbs on the seats, nobody listened. Timbits taught Canadian kids how to share. Sort of. There were rules. The person in the front seat picked first. The birthday kid got 2. If you took someone's favorite flavor, you owed them your next pick. Democracy in donut form. Telling and preparing this video took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now, back to the video. Seasonal flavors came later. Box redesigns happened. But the 70s pass-the-box ritual stuck. Timbits weren't just donuts. They were a social contract, a peace offering, a currency of love. 5. McCain Deep and Delicious Cake, the freezer aisle miracle. Sheet cake with thick frosting that you serve straight from the foil pan. No plates, no fuss, just pull the tab and slice. McCain Deep and Delicious saved countless birthdays and potlucks across Canada. Mom would pull it from the freezer an hour before company arrived. The frosting ridges caught the light. Condensation formed on the foil tray. By dessert time, it was perfectly thawed. Soft cake, creamy icing, and zero stress. Affordable, reliable, and honestly, pretty delicious. The chocolate version ruled, but vanilla had its loyal fans. Some families went rogue with the marble swirl. Either way, this cake meant celebration without the work. It meant we're having people over without the panic. It meant you could focus on the visit instead of the baking. Serving sizes changed over the years. Freezers got bigger, variants multiplied, but the nostalgia stayed frosted on. That foil tray, those ridges, that first cold then soft bite. Deep and Delicious wasn't fancy, it was family. 6. Pizza Pops. Winnipeg gave Canada the handheld pizza pocket. Molten sauce, melted cheese, and a crispy shell that burned your tongue every single time. Pizza Pops were the after-school microwave revolution, the lunchbox brag item when thermoses ruled. 2 beeps from the countertop oven, you'd wait exactly 30 seconds, impatient, starving, ignoring Mom's warning. That first bite was always a mistake. Lava core sauce scorched your mouth. You'd gasp, fan your tongue, and take another bite anyway. Lesson never learned. Pizza Pops were freedom food. You could make them yourself. No adult supervision required beyond the initial permission. Press the button, wait, eat. Independence in a pocket. Fillings got tweaked over time. Ovens changed from countertop to microwave to air fryer. But the legend remained. Every Canadian kid has a Pizza Pop scar story. The roof of mouth burn, the exploded pocket, the cheese string that wouldn't quit, battle scars we earned and bragged about. 7. Beaver Tails, late 70s, Ottawa. A kiosk near the Rideau Canal. Skateway started selling hand-stretched fried dough pastries dusted with cinnamon sugar. Beaver Tails became instant legend. Family trips to the capital meant skating, Parliament Hill lights, and that unmistakable smell of frying dough in -20 air. Mittens off, steam rising from the paper sleeve, sugar coating your lips, and somehow your sleeve. The pastry was hot, sweet, and enormous. You'd eat half, share half, and feel like you'd just experienced peak Canadian winter. Beaver Tails weren't just food. They were warmth against the cold. They were tradition. They were the reward for braving the elements. Kids begged for them. Parents pretended to hesitate, and then ordered 2. Flavor toppings multiplied in later decades. Nutella, Oreo, maple butter. But the 70s origin vibe stayed simple. Just dough, cinnamon, sugar, and winter magic. Still the perfect end to a skating afternoon. 8. Hawaiian pizza, Ontario-born. Invented in the 60s, but the 70s made it boom. Sweet pineapple meets salty ham on a classic cheese pie. The most divisive food in Canadian history. Every sleepover had the fight. Every family gathering had the compromise. half and half for the picky cousins. The genius was tension, sweet versus savory. Fruit on pizza. Was it legal? Was it moral? Kids voted yes. Traditionalists voted no. The debate never ended. It still hasn't. Hawaiian pizza taught Canadian kids how to argue and how to share space. You didn't have to like it, but you had to respect that someone else did. Democracy in action, one slice at a time. The perpetual debate made it a cultural marker, not just food, a personality test, a conversation starter, a way to figure out who your real friends were. Hawaiian pizza wasn't safe. It was bold. It was Canadian food mischief at its finest. 9. Nanaimo bars. 3 perfect layers. Crumb base, custard middle, chocolate top, no baking required. The bake sale queen. Church basement currency, coastal BC pride that went national in the 70s. Auntie's floral plate always had them. Neat knife lines, perfect squares. You'd take one, say thank you, and immediately calculate how to sneak a second piece. They were rich, sweet, and impossible to eat just one. Nanaimo bars were potluck royalty. Whoever brought them won. Recipe cards got passed around, smudged with butter and love. Every family had their version. Extra custard, dark chocolate, a secret ingredient nobody would reveal. Home recipes standardized through community cookbooks in the 70s. Church ladies compared notes. Tweaks were debated, but the core stayed the same. Nanaimo bars meant someone cared enough to make them. They meant home. 10. Butter tarts, flaky pastry shell, gooey filling. The raisin debate, with or without, choose your fighter. Butter tarts ruled prairie fairs, Ontario cottage country, and lunchroom fundraisers. They were portable, sweet, and dangerously addictive. Sticky fingers on a picnic table. The great debate, runny filling or set. Some liked them barely solid, a sugar puddle in a shell. Others wanted structure, something that held its shape. Both sides were passionate. Both sides were right. Butter tarts were homemade pride. You couldn't fake them. Store-bought versions tried and failed. Real butter tarts came from someone's grandmother's recipe, baked in a kitchen that smelled like butter and brown sugar, and weekend mornings. Regional styles got codified in the 70s. The raisin line divided families. But everyone agreed on one thing. A good butter tart was proof that simple ingredients, done right, could create magic. 11. Poutine, Quebec-born, nationally lifted in the 70s. Fries, squeaky cheese curds, hot gravy, late-night diner fuel, French-Canadian comfort crossing provincial lines and conquering hearts one cask-crude at a time. Fogged-up windows, plastic fork, the perfect squeak when you speared a curd. The way the gravy soaked into the fries but left the curds intact. This wasn't health food. This was love in a styrofoam container. Poutine taught Canada how to eat at 2 a.m., how to cure a cold night, how to bond over something simple and perfect. The 70s took it from regional snack bar hero to national shorthand for cozy indulgence. Gravy pour in slow motion, curds stretching, steam rising. Poutine wasn't fancy, it was honest, it was comfort, it was ours. 12. Coffee crisp. Crisp wafer layers with a mellow coffee creme filling, the grown-up chocolate bar that kids still loved. Halloween trades got political over coffee crisp. Recess negotiations got heated. Breaking bars into tidy squares was an art form. Some people bit across. Others peeled layers. Everyone had a method. Everyone defended it. Coffee crisp hit that sweet spot. Not too sweet, not too bitter. The coffee flavor was gentle. The wafer crunch was satisfying. The chocolate coating was smooth. It was balanced. It was Canadian. It was perfect with actual coffee, which made it hilarious to eat as a kid. Ads and formats evolved over the decades. But the 70s cemented the tagline in family lexicon. Coffee crisp was the bar you grabbed without thinking. Reliable. Familiar. Home. 13. Caramilk chocolate tablet with flowing caramel centers. The secret mystique made it playground lore. TV ads asked, How do they get the caramel in the caramilk bar? Kids had theories. Adults had theories. Cadbury stayed silent. The clean break versus messy bite debate divided households. Some people snapped off squares. Others bit across the bar and let the caramel ooze. House rules differed. Arguments ensued. Caramilk wasn't just chocolate. It was mystery. It was appointment TV when new ads dropped. It was schoolyard philosophy. The 70s ad-era storytelling fused brand and enigma. The secret became more famous than the bar. Perfect bar segment crack, slow caramel ribbon. Caramilk taught Canadian kids that some questions didn't need answers. The mystery was the point. 14. Thrills Gum Purple. Rosewater flavored. The package literally said, "Tastes like soap." Thrills Gum was the candy aisle dare, the bus stop challenge, the shibboleth. If you know, you know. Kids passed the box down the row and waited for the soapy face reaction. Some people loved it, most people hated it. Everyone tried it twice just to make sure. Thrills Gum was Canada's tiniest shared myth, a regional inside joke that somehow spread coast to coast. The flavor polarization became part of national identity. We were the country that sold soap-flavored gum and laughed about it. Retro lavender packaging, comic-style taste reaction bubble on the box. Thrills wasn't trying to be normal, it was trying to be memorable. Mission accomplished. 15. Spruce Beer Herbal. Pine-forward soda with deep roots in Quebec and the Maritimes. Spruce beer was the bridge between generations. Grandparents offered it to skeptical grandkids. Old-world flavor in a modern bottle. Corner dépanneur, cold glass bottles sweating on a snowbank. Label in French and English. That first sip was always a shock. Piney, herbal, nothing like Coke or Pepsi. Some kids loved it immediately. Others needed 3 tries. Palates shifted towards sweeter colas as the 70s wore on. But spruce beer held its ground in regional fridges. It was tradition in liquid form. It tasted like forest and history and stubborn pride. Green bottle, snow. A skeptical first sip that sometimes became a craving. Spruce beer taught Canadian kids that not everything had to taste like sugar to be good. Which of these do you remember most? Which one would you put back on your table tonight? Drop a comment and let us know. If this trip hit your nostalgia nerve, subscribe for more Canadian food history deep dives. Hit that bell. Share this with someone who remembers ketchup-stained fingers and Timbit negotiations. Let's keep these memories alive together. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.